Hello, welcome to another installment of Brews and Views. Today we're continuing on with the commitments of real men. We're on to number 11, so we're getting close to wrapping this one up. I'll be interested to hear what you would like to be interested in hearing next. If you have any thoughts on that, but we're going to continue on. So a real man is committed to taking care of himself. Okay. Now obviously we're born into this world and everybody needs taking care of, but we get to a point when you become a man, that it becomes your responsibility to take care of yourself. Now I feel like each person is built up of three things, and you need to take care of those three things separately. Some of them will overlap, but ultimately you are responsible for making sure you have a good balance of each of those. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about your mind, your body, and your soul. So starting with the mind, taking care of your mind by, I feel first thing to start off with that is positive self-talk. Talk to yourself in a positive way and believe that you can achieve whatever it is you want to achieve until you believe it. And make sure you say it to yourself convincingly. There is, I'm just trying to jog my memory line. There are lots of studies out there, things that I've read, that if you visualize things, and lots of sports people do this, visualize something, make it real. So how do you make it real? Okay, well, you imagine the smells, the sounds, the colours, and everything else, different sounds, different visions that you'll see in that. And this is how boxers, and I suppose other people, sports people, will use this tactic to win their chosen sport, is by making that visualization real. And so if you want to achieve something, you need to put some thought and effort into doing that, and naturally your body will then follow the mind. Everything begins with a thought. Everything that you do begins with a thought. Your success begins with a thought, and your demise will begin with a thought. So chase your success. Okay, that's just a bit of self-talk. So reading is fundamental. I've said this a few times, to quote Eddie Griffin there. Reading as much as you can. Spend some time doing it. If you used to read 10 pages a day, it wouldn't take you too long, but over a month you'd get a book in you, over 300 pages, and over a year, can you imagine doing that? 12 books a year. Some people can read a book in a day. I'm a very slow reader, but I try to do my best and read as and when I can, fit it in sometimes. And if you can't read, or you don't like reading, then get an audiobook, and you can even speed those audiobooks up so you can get them done, read them or listen to them quicker. I'd definitely recommend that. Experience things that are going to be useful for personal growth. So going on courses, experiencing different things, going to different places, being around different cultures, all these things that are get you outside of your comfort zone, sometimes even maybe out of your own postcode for once, will help you develop as a person. Spending time in different places amongst different people can only expand your mind, and that's life, isn't it? This which you want to do. You shouldn't want to stay the same with the same people day in, day out, and not ever have experienced anything outside of that. That would be sad, if you ask me. For you not to have experienced some of the wonders of the world. Anyway, so next one. Now this is a big one. especially for men, is to seek help when you need it. Now, most of us men would even go to the doctors with a chronic illness unless it was literally stopping us from going to work and getting out of bed. But that doesn't necessarily mean it's right. Sometimes we need to be a little bit less macho and a little bit less hard-headed when it comes to our self and our mind, especially mental health we're talking about here, aren't we? When it comes to that sort of thing, we need to get rid of this stigma, and this is why I do what I do. It's to have open conversations about things, is that and provide some help and guidance, because you have to go out. If you're suffering with an issue, then it's easy to talk to a stranger. If you don't like talking to strangers, have a friend who you can talk to about stuff, about your problems, about what you're thinking, about what you're feeling, and seek help in that way. There's other ways which we're going to go into in a moment that you can help yourself, but free your mind. And I believe self-talk is a massive one on that one. So I would urge you, if you are struggling with mental health, just try and change the way you think, because a lot of the things that you think aren't real. Yeah. So if you're suffering with depression and anxiety, or both, then you might be paranoid that other people are thinking things about you, or doing things, or nobody cares about you, or people are doing things behind your back, or people are conspiring against you. Those things may be true, but they very likely aren't true. So when you become aware of that, when you become aware of the fact that people want to do things, they will do them, and you have no control over those things, then you can be at peace with the fact that it's not you. It's got nothing to do with you and how you go about the world. So let them do what they're going to do. Don't worry about that. It's got nothing to do with you. What you have control of is your life and the way that you react towards things in your world. Okay? So self-help is self-talk. Self-talk is self-help. So I'm going to move on from that one, and then taking care of your body next. And this happens in many different ways. Simply getting out, walking, training, having a good exercise routine that you follow. Like, I love to train. I don't love it, to be honest with you. I get up and I do it because it's part of my routine. Getting up in the morning at 10 to 6 and training at 6:30, just doing half an hour every day. And I like the discipline of it. I like how it makes me feel, and like, get good and sweaty in the morning. I like the way it changes my body, and there's a lot of good reasons to do that. So train, take care of your body. That's not just that. Training is one aspect, and any good trainer will tell you it's not just about the training, it's about the diet. And eating shit will make you feel shit ultimately. If you eat well, it's surprising how much that will change how you feel. I'm going to do one, keep meaning to do one about how certain foods can bring on low mental health, but just to put it in a nutshell, excuse the pun, eat shit, you're going to feel shit. Eat good, you're going to feel a lot better. Try it out. And just a couple of quick little tips on that one. These little things that I like to get some of my clients doing. In one of your meals in a day, have as much sort of green stuff in that meal as you can, like leaves, salad leaves, broccoli, things like that, because they contain a lot of nutrients that are going to help your body, and obviously, it's healthier roughage inside your body. It's going to help you feel full as well. So if you're on a sort of strict diet, eating a lot of salad, vegetables and stuff like that's going to help you feel full and feel better. So yeah, drink plenty of water. If you're, then a quick tip, if you're around about 90 kilos, you should need to be drinking about 3 litres of water a day. If you're about 70 to 80, about 2. And again, it does depend on your sort of activity levels, but the heavier you are, the more water you need to be drinking. Okay, so bear that in mind. If you need some help on that, give me a shout. But yeah, so take care of your body, eat better, sleep better. And some other thing I was watching or reading the other day is making your energy the priority. So your energy levels, when you're tired, you can't be asked. When I'm tired, I can't be asked with talking to people. I can't be asked. The first thing that goes when I'm tired is my personality, and I just sometimes cannot be asked talking to people anymore, and the people irritate me, and I just have to find somewhere else to go, something else to do, and that's not their fault, but it's my fault, and it's something that I want to be able to be in control of. And going to sleep earlier, or getting a good quality sleep, 6 to 8 hours a day, is key to having optimal levels of energy, as well as eating well, training well, and drinking plenty of water. So bear that in mind, guys. Your family deserves that. If you want to get the most out of your life, you need to have good energy levels. Okay, so the next one is going to be taking care of your soul. So this can come in lots of different forms. It could come in the form of your spirituality, your religion, and some people may not necessarily be spiritual or religious or believe in that, but deep down inside, your spirit, your inner warrior, whatever you want to call it, is your soul, and it's crying out. What I feel like, part of that is the level of discipline, and discipline, I feel, plays a massive part in taking care of your soul, because you sometimes give in. I say you, I'm talking to you as if I'm talking to myself, but you sometimes give in too easily for a little, a quick fix or a quick buzz, and knowing that it's not necessarily good for you there and then, but you will often go that route because it makes you feel good, dopamine, but that's short-lived. Now, for something to last longer, if you want to look good, you can't having quick fixes, eating snacks all day. That's not going to get you anywhere. Abstaining from eating is going to ultimately, not completely, right? Abstaining from eating when you shouldn't be eating is going to make you feel better. It's going to help your body. Your body is not designed to be eating all the time. Okay, so, and again, that probably goes into place with what I was talking to you about mental health, and how that eating crap all the time is going to make you feel crap. So getting those little wins in, and not giving in to that temptation is going to be good for your soul. I've written down as well, doing what you say. I feel this is a key one, this one. You shouldn't say anything to anybody that you've not committed to doing, or you haven't already just completed it. Don't put stuff out there into the universe that you haven't done, because I feel like sometimes the universe just swallows it all up. Keep it inside and work on it, and then tell everybody else what you've done when it's done. Or don't tell them. Sometimes I take great pride in achieving some things that no one knows about, just me, and then I forget about them, because it's not important for you to know what I've done. I know what I've done, I know what I can do, and I know where I'm at. But I enjoy having the control of whether or not I share that information with people. I certainly don't share everything that I have achieved online, but that everybody's different. You know, I'm not saying that's right, I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm just saying that that's just how I am. But yeah, and I also as well, I've written down, is do things for people without expecting anything from them in return. Now that to me it's a big one, that one, because you shouldn't do things to get people to do things for you. But it's hard, isn't it? It's a hard one, that one. So you have to lower your expectations. People, you're not me and I'm not you. We weren't brought up in the same house. We weren't potentially brought up with the same friends, and maybe even the same culture. But we have to set our expectations really low. If I do something for you, I shouldn't be expecting something in return. I shouldn't be doing that for the kindness of my heart. If you then return or do something back, then that's good. Thank you. I appreciate that. But I will tend to do things for people because I know, kind of, in a way, I know that I would like that, or they might like that. So I feel that's a nice gesture for them to do, for me to do. That was a bit of a slip, that, wasn't it? But you know what I mean. And it's hard, that one. It's a difficult one. It's almost like one of the commandments, love thy neighbour like you love yourself. It's a tricky one, that one. If you really look at that, it's a difficult one to get your head around, because there are some people out there that I don't really feel like deserve all of that. But Bible teaches us, and again, I apologise if you're not religious or you have a faith, but Bible teaches us to love thy neighbour as if there was part of your family. And it's a tough one. You have to be able to forgive. You have to be able to forget. Not necessarily forget, but you have to be able to move on. So I feel like part of that as well is just doing things for people without expecting anything in return, because it will prevent resentment and just harping on them. Remember when I did this for that person, and you start becoming like building up a bank of stuff that that you're carrying around with you, a bag full of crap that you just waiting to pull out. But it doesn't work that way. People don't work that way. So do yourself a favour and chuck away that bag. So I'm gonna finish with a little bit of a morbid one, unfortunately, but it needs to be said. In England, last year, the statistics for 2021 showed that in England there was 3,852 male suicides compared to 1,367 female suicides. Amongst that number, some of the highest number, and they were all pretty close, to be fair, around a certain age, but the highest group of men were between 50 and 54, and a close set, that were the largest, I think, by about 100 and something, and then a second and the third were very close. We're talking lives here, so I'm not sort of thinking it there, but there was about maybe 10 to 15 difference between that and between the age of 40, 44 and 45 and 49. They were the highest numbers, and it's true of it's clearly true of around that middle-aged men having issues, and I feel like part of that is to do with this in self-care, which is one of the reasons why I spent a bit more time on this one today, because it's quite personal to me. This is that it's normal to have the thought. It's normal to sometimes even think of it, but when it becomes a daily thing, when it becomes an issue, and that nothing else is changing you or pulling you out of that, it's time to take some care of yourself. It's time to do the right thing, not the wrong thing. Time to do the right thing. And another sort of quote that came up about this guy and his dad. You might have seen it on the old interweb, that he was talking about alcohol really, and his dad was an ex-alcoholic, and he was saying, well, just taking one day at a time. I'm not going to give up today, and I want you to sort of look it up. Not quitting today. I'll have to put it in the comments because it's a really good video. But basically, it's just take it one day at a time. When you're struggling, get some help. Talk positive to yourself. Reach out to a friend. And I know sometimes that's the last thing you want to do. But you need to get someone else's opinion sometimes. Speak to someone that you know is not going to judge you. Do some exercise. Do some hard exercise. Push yourself in the gym. And then have some positive self-talk. Because this number from last year is bigger than the one year before. So it means that people are checking out because they can't see a reason to carry on. And it's a bit of a cliche, isn't it, that we don't want to kill ourselves. We're just trying to kill what's wrong in it. But it's true. If you was to, if that problem, whatever it was, you could just like scrunch up and just chuck it in a bin. A lot of people wouldn't end their lives and commit suicide, and all the damage that causes behind it. And after that's done, people move on with your lives though. People move on with their lives. They're still left with scars and stuff, but people move on with their lives. It's sad, isn't it, that people will choose that as an option, but it's normal to think like that from time to time. But if it becomes a thought that is creeping in day to day, throughout the day, several times, you need to speak to somebody. I will post up some numbers that you can call, and if you're feeling that way out, reach out to somebody, because I want you to remember, don't do it today. Give it one more day, give it another day, and tell yourself that every single day. Let them thoughts keep in. Talk to yourself a little bit more positively, and like I said, get the help. Be more disciplined. Do what you need to do. Well, okay, so I'm going to wrap it up there. But thank you for watching. A bit longer than normal, but this is to me, this particular one was one of them ones that, it's one of the reasons why I'm doing it, is because men aren't talking. Men are deciding that I've had enough, and they're just checking out. And it's not good. It's not good. So I hope you found that useful. If you did, please like and share. Sorry to end on a sad note, or morbid note, but it needs to be said. Some things can't be sugar coated. So please take care of yourself, because you are loved, you are needed, and you're not alone. And so until next time, take care.